Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about irons. Not just any iron, we're going to be talking about the category of high to mid handicap golfers. Now I know how hard it can be to find the right set of irons that are going to work well for your game. So I've picked five clubs that I think that you should consider testing this season to help with your game. I'm going to rank them in order of what I feel is number 5 to number 1, and then I'm going to share that information with you and why I've chosen those clubs. Now my name is Dan Hendriksen, I'm a PJ professional, but I also do club reviews for the biggest buying group in the UK, Foremost Golf. So I know a thing or two about what golf clubs should perform like in order to help with your game. So let's get into the video. Now when it comes to irons for, let's say, a high handicap golfer that's trying to kind of come down with their handicap, or people who are relatively new to the game of golf, I think it's important to identify that we're looking for golf clubs that have got maximum stability. So when you don't hit the middle of the club, it means that you're still going to get the ball to go forward with some decent ball speed that gets you over to your target. So the 5 clubs that I've picked today are what we would call in the game sort of game improvement irons, but they are irons that are definitely going to help those players when it comes to scoring better and getting that handicap down. Now the clubs that I've chosen for today's top 5, I'm looking at categories like control, forgiveness, looks and feel. Also, there's another area that I like to look at, which is the loft of the club. I always think that companies try to push these lofts a little bit down, which enables us to hit that ball a little bit further, but then we lose a little bit of control. And let's be honest, if you're trying to hit more fairways, more greens, you're going to want to try and get control of that golf ball, which I certainly think is going to help you. So let me share with you who is coming in at number 5. Now this may shock some of you out there, some of you who have watched the channel for a while. Number 5 is the Titleist T350, and the reason I say it shocks you is because I used to be an ambassador for Titleist, so I'm a big fan of Titleist. And I'm not saying that I'm not a big fan of this club, because at the end of the day, it has made the top 5. And it's not because it's gone in the water, but there's a few other things that I need to explain to you why I think it comes in top 5, but comes in at number 5. First and foremost, the price. £180 per club is what we're getting out of this T350, which kind of goes in line with all the other range of clubs that they do, T200, T150, T100. From a loft point of view, we've got, on the 7 iron, we've got 29 degrees of loft, which is actually not bad for a game improvement iron, and you'll see from the other lofts that we've got on the other clubs as to why it's quite impressive. However, 121 mile an hour ball speed off the club face. It launches really well at 18, 19 degrees, but one of the reasons why I've put it down in this category at number 5 is because it spins the lowest basically at an average of 5,000 revs. It peaks out nicely at 35 yards high, and it does carry really quite well at 174 yards. And the kind of gapping between my kind of good shots and bad shots is 171 yards to 176 yards. So therefore, with all the shots that I've hit, I'm always going to miss-hit 1 or 2, and the gapping there is always pretty tight, which I think works really well for this particular club. But based on the fact that it's £180 per club, it also just sounds a little bit plasticky. When you hit it, it feels a bit echoey, like a bit flexy on the club face, and it doesn't cry out to me that it's £180 worth of club compared to what else we're seeing here. So with the numbers in mind, with the cost in mind, and then that little bit of plasticky kind of sound on the back, I'm putting it as my number 5. Sorry to interrupt, I know we're going through this video, but I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for watching this video. But also, if you are new to the channel, make sure you go and check out that subscribe button. If you like this content, there's plenty more coming, and we've got some other stuff on the golf course as well, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. So pop down there, hit that subscribe button, and well, let's carry on with the video. Now next up at number 4, and this kind of breaks my heart a little bit when I look at this club and put it in as category number 4. And you got to remember, these numbers are going to be very tight between all 5 of these clubs. And the reason it breaks my heart is because this one, in particular, looks to me down at the golf ball probably the nicest out of all 5 clubs. Even though a couple of others look nice, this one looks and feels wise pretty nice to me. It's the Srixon ZX4. And maybe it's because it's just a little bit less offset compared to what we're seeing out of those other 4 models. It's not as chunky as some of the others. It's got a really nice blade length across it, which is going to give lots of players lots of confidence. And also the feel off the club face. It feels solid. It feels very similar to what I kind of use. So you're not feeling this kind of flexing motion off the club face, which again, I think is quite a positive thing, maybe for the mid handicap players. Another positive with this club is it's got 28.5 degrees of loft, which again is quite strong, but we're going to see it in this category. From a spin point of view, I'm getting the second of the worst, should we say, in the spin. I'm getting 5,297 revs, nearly 5.3 in the revs. Ball speed off the club face a little bit hotter than what I'm seeing out of the Titleist at 121.7, but then there's half a degree more loft on the Titleist than there is this Srixon, so you'd expect to see that. Similar sort of launch patterns than what we're seeing out of the Titleist, peaking out the same yardage and actually going the same yardage. The drop off slightly is probably that there's a bigger gap maybe between the worst shot and the best shot, but again, it's tiny, absolutely tiny. And I think all of these clubs have done well when it comes to being efficient, should we say, with these off-centered strikes. For the reason of the fact that it's a 150 pounder club, the fact that the spin is just a little bit lower, I've put this as number 4. Now coming into the top 3. And first up in my top 3 is the Cobra Darkspeed. So for all you Cobra fans out there, yours has got in the top 3. Now Cobra, not afraid to move the needle when it comes to technology. If you've seen some of my other reviews from Cobra products, from putters to drivers to now irons to wedges, they focus on technology to try and look to help from a marketing point of view and also from a material point of view. Well, the Darkspeed iron, which is a beautiful looking iron, it's kind of a dark finish as it comes off with that dark speed kind of name, but this one coming in at number 3, and there is a couple of reasons why I've kind of brought it up to that level, being as the loft is particularly low and it is quite powerful. Now, if you were going online now looking for this club, you're going to find it for around £120 per iron, which I actually think is not bad in the current state of the market for new equipment. But like I said, 27 degrees of loft, so it's not afraid to be quite powerful in its loft. You've got to think that a bladed 7 iron, should we say, that I would use is 35 degrees of loft. So you're getting plenty of power out of these clubs, well, all of the clubs that we're testing here today. But 122 mile an hour off the club face, a lower launch from this particular iron at 16.6. Its spin though, 5,500 revs on an average that I'm getting from this particular iron, peaking out 32 yards high and going on an average of 174 yards. Now, the only downside that I'm seeing with this particular iron, other than the fact that the loft is particularly low, is the dispersion from front to back is a little bit jumpy, going from 169 yards to 179 yards. So therefore, you know, a 10-yard gap from a miss hit to a good shot is a little bit dangerous, and that's where spin is so important to get that ball to stop quickly with the spin and also your descent angle. Get it up high, get it coming in steep, it will stop quicker. But I think the fact that it's quite low lofted, but the fact that it's still managing to get some good spin from it, therefore there's probably some decent technology based in this club that's allowing it to be able to spin just a fraction more. So that is why I've put this club as my number 3 iron. So it has made top 3, and at £120, I think you might make a decent investment. Now, to pick a number 1 out of this category of these clubs that I've tested here today has been quite a challenge, to be honest. And still to this moment, I am looking down at these 2 clubs thinking, which one should be number 1? Well, based off visuals, based off kind of performance and price, I'm going to put the Mizuno Hot Metal at number 2. So for all you Mizuno fans out there, please don't switch off and be disappointed the fact that yours has finished not on that top spot, because this hot metal iron is definitely one that I think lots of players should consider testing this year. First and foremost, it doesn't feel anything different to any other Mizuno that I've tested. Nothing feels quite like a Mizuno, and the JPX hot metal is certainly in that category as well. So from a feel point of view, it feels absolutely fantastic off the club face. It's 28 degrees of loft, which I kind of like. I want to try and get these lofts up with these companies. I know they've got tech to help that ball go up in the air, but it comes off the club face at 120, 121 mile an hour, launches at 16.5. Its spin though, it spins at 5.7, the highest spin out of any of the clubs that we've tested here today, peaking out 31 yards high and 171 yard carry. This club will set you back around 150 pounds right now online. So it's not bad considering it's only just been launched. But the winner of the category of high to mid handicap golfers is the Callaway Ai Smoke iron. I'm actually really impressed with this iron for kind of a number of reasons, really. Number one, it looks absolutely fantastic. It's not the biggest profile of head, but it's got enough there to give plenty of you the confidence that you're going to need to be able to say, I can get this ball in the air, I can control this golf ball with this particular club. And the price that I found online, £135 per iron. Which, to be fair, is probably kind of middle of the road when we look at all the 5 clubs that we've tested here today, ranging from around £120 to £180, at £135, it's kind of there or thereabouts in the middle. And the loft of this club comes in at 28 degrees from a 7-iron point of view. And the performance of this club, well, pretty good as you would expect to get it to number 1. 120 mile an hour off the club face, launches at 15.8. The spin is there with it at 5,500 revs. It probably peaks out a little bit lower compared to the others, but you probably won't even notice it when you're on the golf course. Carry 173 yards. But I think from the looks point of view, the feel point of view, and ultimately the price of this club, along with its performance, this is why I've put the Callaway Ai Smoke as my number 1. However, the top 5 range of clubs is that close. It is so close. You could choose any of these clubs to go in that top 5 and have an argument for that to get in that, certainly that number 1 spot. And I think that if you were to go out and test any of these clubs and put a set of these in the golf bag, I don't think you go too far wrong. I think they all offer something just a fraction different from their looks, from their feel. They're gonna give you the confidence. They've got that stability in order for you to be able to hit shots that go towards your target with off-centered strikes. So the help is there for these particular clubs. But I'd like to know what you think. Are you testing or playing any of these clubs? Have you got a plan to go and get a fitting with these particular clubs? What do you think about the price? What do you think about the lofts and control that I've seen from them? I'd like to hear down there in the comments. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again on the next video.